Hello, hello. Just make sure we're all live and stuff. I think so. Hang on. There we go. There we go. I'm on. How's everybody? Hello, Yolandi and Richard. Good evening. Just wondering. There's 5 people viewing. Okay. Right, so the Covenstead. It's just the Covenstead. Just a get together and a chat. Wizard Den, hello. Good morning to you. You're inspiring to me. I've started my own YouTube channel. Oh, brilliant. That's nice. I'll have to go check it out. Actually, I'm going to go and do that now. Is it? I assume it's called the Wizard Den. Let me just see if I can get there from here. I wonder if I can. Poppamies, hello. How are you doing? Good now time, everybody. Good now time. All right, I just want to see if I can get to the Wizard Den. I can't get there from there. Can I get it from there? No, I can't. All right, let's do this. Yellow Tempest 7. Hello, how are you? Thanks for joining. I'm just trying to find the Wizard's Den. Wizard's Den. Yes, Wizard's Den. There we go. I'm subscribed. There we go. It is Wizard's Den Sorcery Fan Channel. Is that right? Just let me know if I've got the right one. Username is Wizard's Den 666. Let me know about that. Amenhotep V or 5. Mr. Lee, hello and thank you. Your videos have been very helpful for finding my path. Absolute pleasure. The Wizard Den. Okay, so that maybe might be a different one. Can you drop the URL in there? Oh, it's probably this one. Let's have a look. Yeah, probably this one. Your latest video was there for Wisdom on Discernment. Okay, let me know if I've got the right one. Fossilized Tree Sap, hello. Made it at the very beginning of one of these. That's what my accomplishment for today is going to be. Time for bed again. That's you. Okay, cool. Got it. Yes. Oh, yeah, I can see the icon there. All right, subscribe to that one. Cool. Everybody go check that out. Support our good people, our family. Sorry, I forgot to move my mic. Hang on a sec. Might go bump. Did it gently. Cool. So, how is everybody today? Normally these take a little while to get going as people join, get the notification and whatnot. I am actually doing the Cauldron, the healing half hour later from this month. So I'll be doing it at 6 p.m. GMT. It's now 5 p.m. GMT. I'm not sure if we should actually make this one later as well. Make it also at 6 p.m. GMT. Wizard Den, I'm doing wonderful. Good stuff. I like it when people are doing well. If you just want to go back to that other one, because subscribe to the wrong channel. Okay, there we go. Oops, wait, no, there. Okay, screw it. Poppamies, I'm good. How are you? I'm good, thank you. It's been a weird. Last month was really weird. Just been feeling very demotivated. just can't. I've got no get up and go. And I keep trying to push myself, and it doesn't happen. I kind of set my alarm for the time I'm going to get up. I'm like, I will do it tomorrow, and then the alarm goes off, and I go back to sleep. Yeah, it's been terrible. I must try and sort that out because I can't go on like that. Richard, looking forward to the healing session. Been one of those months. It definitely has. But I've got the car in the background. Excuse that. He likes to rev his engine. Yeah. All right. So let's discuss what's coming up this month on the channel. So tomorrow is the Path series, and I'm having a look at traditional witchcraft. Not an easy path to actually define, because it's, as I said in the video, it's the nameless art, so it's undefinable really. Poppy's Hurricane Solar Storm, if I remember correctly. Oh yes, I do remember that. I also remember, I don't follow it, but I do recall some people talking about the Schumann resonance going a bit haywire about a month ago. I don't know if that's continuing. It's not something I really follow myself, but interesting. All right, so let's have a look. Fossilized Tree Sap said, speaking of YouTube channels, I'd love to hear about how you started yours and what you were thinking when you did. All right, so this is an interesting story. I actually tried to start a YouTube channel about 2 or 3 times. Has it gone as you thought it wanted? I don't know really. Let me explain it to you. So I tried to start like 2 or 3 times in the past, like 10 years back, and that was at the time when the maximum video you could upload was like 15 minutes. It didn't go very well. Started and stopped, and then when I started now, this one when I actually started, the intention for it was actually to create what I was going to call the magical entrepreneur. Never say that word. I'm glad I didn't continue with that, because I battled to say entrepreneur. So what it was going to be was kind of taking manifestation techniques, but also how to build a WordPress site, how to do online marketing, social media marketing, and all of that stuff. So I was going to do that, but also include magic, because we can use magic to enhance everything that we do. So I was going to do that, and I started that, and I got like about 3 or 4 videos in maybe, and it kind of just morphed into what it is now, and I kind of let the audience decide what was going to happen and where it was going to go. I do want to actually say to anybody, including the Wizard Den, anybody who wants to start a YouTube channel, you've got to do it for yourself. I actually started this mostly as a brain dump, just to get information out of my head. It's the same reason I wrote my first book, was just to, just a mind dump of getting stuff out onto some kind of tangible material. You've got to do it for yourself, and you've got to love doing it. Because if you're expecting to do it for like 3 months or 6 months, and you're going to have like thousands and thousands of subscribers, and you're going to be making lots of money, it's not going to happen. It's going to take a long time, and so you have to stick with it, and you have to go and check the algorithms and see what works and what doesn't work. Find out from your audience what they actually would like to see, but at the same time, you don't want the audience kind of decides what direction things are going, but you do at the same time. There are certain directions that the audience have kind of pushed me, and I'm not really comfortable going there, so I've kind of pushed into a slightly different direction, but also incorporated the audience. So it's an interesting journey, but definitely do it for yourself to begin with. Once you do start, I've got I think 6,500 subscribers now, so I wasn't expecting that, and I actually had a nice little bump in the road, a nice bump, not a bad bump. I was trying to get to 1,000 subscribers so I could start to monetize, and it was kind of hovering around 600. And then someone on TikTok made a video about the top 4 or 5 YouTube witches channels that they kind of thought was good and admired and whatnot, and they included me. And suddenly overnight I got 1,200 subscribers. So it kind of shot through the roof straight away. So that was very nice. If you can get somebody to help you out in that fashion, that's brilliant. It really push you forward. But yeah, definitely do it for yourself. So yeah, that's how my channel started anyway, and where it's gone. Poppy is at this time there is a geomagnetic storm impacting Earth. The geomagnetic storm. Okay, that probably explains all the crappiness. I remember them days. Amenhotep in the 1800s, there was a so big solar storm that if it happened today, all electronics would break. Yeah, I could believe that. I'm sure it will come. Amenhotep, looks like we are due another. I would definitely not disagree. Craig's here. Hello, Craig. How are you doing? And Craig has subscribed to the Wizard Den. Good stuff. Yeah. Thank you, Craig. All right. So that's that. All right. So carrying on with what I was doing this month. So Bath series on Monday, which is traditional witchcraft, and carrying on with Ask Lee. I'm changing the name to Ask Uncle Lee. I'll try and remember to do that this coming Wednesday. Then, the Demon of the Week. We've got the last 3 of the Goetia this month. Sia, Dantalion, and Andromalius. So I'll be doing those. And then the last week of the month, just to wrap up the month, I'm going to just do a recap of the Goetia, the correspondences, some things that people may not have picked up, patterns that come out of Crowley's work, actually. So I'm just going to have a look at that. Some suggestions on books to read regarding the Goetia, or the Goetia, as it should be pronounced or said in the Greek, something like that. Then the next Monday, I'm going to be talking about communication with spirits. I've picked up a few people who are having some difficulty, and it's mostly due to noise in the head. So I'm going to have a look at that, maybe suggest some things, and see if I can help some people in that regard. Then the week after that, the Monday after that, I'm going to be doing Crossroads with Janice Kaiser. They have written a book called Way of the Lightbringer, which is extremely interesting. It's very philosophical, and it has a look at what they call the 13 Lucifers, which I found incredibly interesting. So we're going to have to do that. That's that Monday. And then I think it's, how many Mondays have we got this month? Let me just check. We have 5. Okay, so I'm going to have to slot something in for the 20th, and then the 27th will be book review, and I'm doing Divine Meditations by M. King. Short book, quick book, but very interesting. 1 or 2 things I don't really agree with myself, but yeah, I'll cover that in the review anyway. And that's really the month. As I said, the Cauldron, the Healing Half Hour, which I'm going to do in 2 weeks' time, are going to be at 6 p.m. GMT. I have to keep converting times. It's 8 p.m. GMT, or 8 p.m. for me. All right, so let's have a look back over here. Amenhotep, I found your channel by searching demonology on YouTube. It definitely got quite heavy into demonology, and I think a lot of people came on in reference to that specific thing. I especially considering the path series I'm doing, I want to try and expose people to a lot of different other paths. So I'm kind of sort of going progressively through how I kind of got onto the different paths. So starting with Wicca, going into traditional witchcraft. Next week I actually want, or next month I actually want to look at Druidism. So I had an interest, didn't really stick, but had an interest. So, but I'll be going into that, going into chaos magic, Toltec warrior path, Kabbalah, specifically practical Kabbalah, because that's what I learned from Jacobus. Ceremonial magic. I'll just keep going on and on and on and on and on. So we'll have a look at different paths and expose everybody to different things. Because demonology is not the only path. It's a great path, it really is. But if you actually look deeper into traditional witchcraft, you'll find that a lot of it, especially specifically Luciferianism, actually ties in a lot with what happened with traditional witchcraft. But I'm going to leave that for tomorrow. That's tomorrow's video. I'm going to ruin it now. Pop Me's, was it Dan? Was your latest video Wisdom on Discernment? Yes, that was the one, Pop Me's. I also asked that question. Fossilized tree sap, yes, are you seriously? Excellent. Uncle Lee is an excellent rebrand. Well, everybody started calling me Uncle Lee, and I think you said I must rename it to Ask Uncle Lee. So, seems good. Sappho is here. Hello, Sappho. Yes, that's me. Subscribed. Lee, have you worked with the clip-off? And if not, are you planning to? I actually made a video this past month about the clip-offs. And the left-hand path versus the right-hand path, the crooked path, and all of that. I don't work with the Kleepot for, I suppose my own personal reasons, being that I did have a Kabbalistic background before I didn't really. I mean, I was working with the demons before I had the Kabbalistic background, but around then it was more Temple of Set, Universe B, the Tunnels of Set, and that type of stuff, which kind of overlaid, but it was early stages and it didn't really fit in with what we know or what people are following now as being the Kleepot, and the Kleepotic tree and the tree of death. But then my progression obviously went into Kabbalistic aspects. And so therefore my understanding of the Kleepot is that they are the shells, the husks. That's the direct translation. And those shells and husks are what cover the Sephirot, or each Sephirot. And what we want to try and do is get to the juicy, fruity stuff in the middle, in the center, and get through the shell. If we talk about the underworld is below the skin. So in order to get to the underworld, we need to go through the skin, through the husk, through the shell to get to the underworld. But if we stay in the Kleepot, in the shell, in the husk, we're staying in that area which is basically Maya, it's illusion. It's the space between the physical and the underworld, the other world. It's all mishy-mashy. You don't really move from this space into you just alter consciousness. But that's getting into a whole different discussion. So staying in the Kleepot for me is staying in the illusion. So I don't work with the Kleepot, and I have absolutely no plans to work with Kleepot. Every now and again, I've tried to, I've read books, read people's interpretation of Kleepot and things like that, and it just doesn't resonate at all with me, at all. So anyway, that's my explanation of that. Craig, yep, a noisy mind will put a stop to most things. Yeah, it definitely does. And I'm just finding that a lot of people are trying to communicate with the spirits, and they're doing the practices, and they're not getting the results. And there's a specific reason for that, but I'll talk about that next Monday. Noisy minds makes it so hard to focus. I had that issue in the beginning. Yeah, that's how I found you as well. The demonology. Yeah. The noisy mind really is, if your head's noisy, you can't hear what's being communicated. So you think that nobody's communicating with you, but they actually are. It's just you can't hear it because everything's too noisy. Yeah, now I've spoiled that video, so but I'll do it again. Wizard's Den. Do you work with the Egyptian deities, Lee? I actually don't either. Funny enough, I get a lot of people ask me this because of the Egyptian, the Kemetic tradition itself. It's quite strong. It's quite a lot of people follow it. But like I was mentioning about druidry or druidism just now, it's one of those paths that I kind of got interested in, but it didn't hook. It just didn't get me. And it's the same with the Egyptian, with the Kemetic tradition. It's very, very interesting. And every now and again, I kind of come back to it and I touch on it, but it just doesn't get its hook in like other paths do. And obviously, a lot of Hermeticism came out of the Egyptian, and I have an interest in Hermeticism, but again, it's not really giving me that hook feeling. So, working demonology, I guess a lot of people would find that strange, but if you think about it, my demonology does focus very much on, I have the traditional witchcraft background and things like that, so I guess it does divert a lot from traditional demonology or generational demonology that Escalony follows. I found Escalony to be kind of like the one introduction to that whole area that, where you respect demons and stuff, bringing it to the public view and making it a path that everybody could follow. That was just fantastic. That was like it for me. What I've been trying to do for years and years and years, and find the specific path that did it. People touched on it over the years, but it didn't have a term like demonology. But anyway, Sappho, I started with Wicca, started to Tradcraft because it has some of everything. Tradcraft is very much like that. It is the crooked path. I think Wicca is very much, or it does very, very much overlap with traditional witchcraft. There's obviously a lot of commonality, but walking the crooked path really is that going from one thing to the next thing to the next thing and coming back again and going forward and seeing where things take you. And when you come to one point, you stop there and you examine what's happening, what's going on, what information you're getting, and then you plot your way to the next point. You track your way to it. So it really is a kind of divergent path, whereas Wicca does have, it does, obviously depending on which path you're actually following, and if it's Neo-Wicca, whether it's initiatory Wicca, and that, whether it's Gardnerian or Alexandrian, or one of the other Sioux Wicca, etc., 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 they each have their own kind of way of doing things. So although we can't, well, I wouldn't like to say it has dogma. It does have its set way of doing things, but at the same time, each Wiccan is encouraged to find their own way also. So there's kind of a guiding path, a straight and narrow path, but they also are allowed to divert and take the crooked path at the same time. So it gets quite interesting. But Tradcraft, that's definitely one that hooks me. Tradcraft, Chaos Magic, Toltec Warrior Path, Practical Kabbalah, Demonology. These are all the ones that kind of got their hooks into me. Do you, Wizard Den, work with Egyptian deities? I'm going to follow after this. Wizard Den said, Amenhotep, I do, Isis, Thoth, and Set majorly. Good stuff. Love it. I'll definitely check out some of your stuff. Great. I work with Bastet currently. Richard, Wizard Dan, can you please send me a link? I'm actually going to just grab it again and put it in the comments for everybody. I don't think anybody else can post links for spam reasons. Okay, here we go. Coming through. There you go. Lee, your friendly occult agony uncle sounds crying. Agony uncle. God. That's actually true. Some answering questions. Maybe I should call it agony uncle. Ask Uncle Agony. I don't know. Anyway, no, I'll just keep it to Ask Uncle Lee. Dragon of the West, hello. Thanks for joining. How can we focus during journeying or as a magic practices? And how do we know when we're in contact with a real entity? So focusing when you're journeying really does take practice and also getting yourself into a deeper trance. The deeper you go into trance, you'll find that you become more immersed in the journey itself and the other world. But really, it all starts and boils down to meditation and one-pointed focus. And this is why we always say that meditation is so important. As much as loads and loads of people don't like doing meditation, it really is the most important thing. So getting one-pointed focus through meditation, doing your, I'm going to say visualization, not everybody can visualize with their psychic eyes or their inner eyes, their mind's eye or whatever, but that visualization and concentration exercises and that specifically one-pointed focus. So when you're doing your magic practice, whether it's a ritual, whether it's spell work, whether it's doing a journey, whether it's moving into the other worlds, whatever it is, you then are able to get yourself into one-pointed focus, and that's really what the goal is. Because if you're trying to cast a circle, lay a compass, whatever it is, what you're doing is you're calling specific forces and energies. And if you're thinking about what's for supper while you're doing that, you're not going to make the proper connection. So you need to focus, you need to concentrate, and you have to have one-pointed focus, which is why meditation is so important. So definitely continue in meditation. Don't forget that. Amenhotep, I've been crazy about ancient Egypt since childhood, so working with Egyptian deities came naturally. But after that, I started to mix it with demonology. It goes hand in hand with demonology. The Egyptian deities, Hermeticism, it all goes hand in hand with demonology. Not just because of the area, in the ancient Middle East, but because of the connection with Hermeticism. I actually find that I venture more towards the Greek than I do the Egyptian. And probably because, I kind of avoided it. I've tried to push that side away for years and years and years. But, when you've got Pan and Hecate as your god and goddess, you haven't got much of a choice, really. So, so in that regard, my direction's actually gone towards the Greek. Popomies at Richard, only Lee can send a link on chat. I thought so. Yeah, it's got to do with spam. Richard, it came up straight away on the YouTube search. Well, just be careful, Craig. There is the Wizard's Den, which I think is a gaming channel or something. Just check the link up that I sent. It's the proper one. Rev Kai, hello. Thanks for joining. Hey folks, links won't go through, but you can tap on the person's name and go to the channel. Oh, is that how you do it? I was trying to do it just now, it wasn't working for me. Anyway, links there. Uncle Lee. Yeah. I've actually asked my daughter to crochet me a wizard's hat. I'm going to start wearing a wizard's hat. Richard, thanks Lee. YouTube algorithms stopped me finding the wizard den for some reason. That's actually 3 that come up, so that's why I thought better to send the link. I can't. This is Wizards going again. Wizard's Den. Can't visualize with my eyes closed, so I recommend for anyone having issues to visualize with their eyes open, even speak out loud what path working may be. It works for me this way. Good advice. What you can also do if it's a path working guided, some kind of guided visualization, is to record it and then play it back. And that way you're not speaking out loud, you are listening, and you're immersing yourself into the pathway yourself. But if it works for you, go with it, carry on. That's the whole point, is finding things that actually work for you. I'm actually interested if anybody does have complete aphantasia. Please give me a shout. I'd like, because I've keep suggesting things for people who have aphantasia, and I'm not really sure if I'm getting it on the mark or not. So I'd love to chat to you if you do have complete aphantasia. Fossilized tree sap. I came across your channel a few years ago when I was looking for info on specific demons, and your videos were exactly what I wanted. Simple, clear, concise. I've been doing it for a few years now. I didn't think it was that long. You make things accessible to very new people, but also offer new information to even advanced practitioners. I haven't found another channel that does both. Oh, that's nice. Thanks for letting me know. Problem is when I click on the names on chat, I can only report and block. Yeah, that's what I was getting. Well, maybe there's a specific technique. I don't know. Craig, Covenstead, good point. I never need to close my eyes when I'm doing art. Wisdom, what is aphantasia? So aphantasia is the inability to visualize. And when we say or use the word visualize, it's usually taken in the reference of not being able to see something in your mind's eye, such as, a concentration or visualization focus method would be to imagine an apple. And with your eyes closed, imagine the apple in your mind's eye, and then you build on the color, you build it up, definition, you give it more definition, you see the stalk and maybe a leaf, and then you imagine the color, and then you start rotating it and revolving it, and then you can move on to shapes, onto landscapes, onto different things. But you visualize in your mind's eye. That's what some people cannot do. And I think that, there's varying degrees of people's ability to visualize in that fashion. And I think in that case, you can probably build up the skill through practice. But there are people who have complete aphantasia where they just cannot do it. So I don't think there's any way you can actually build that skill from zero. So what I actually usually suggest is when you're reading a fiction book, how do you visualize it? And visualization in this case is not just the mind's eye, it's using all your senses to experience something, to immerse yourself into the experience. So what happens when you read a fiction book? Take that experience and put it into journey work, and do it that way. That's what we're talking about with visualization. It's just that we use the word visual and we immediately think of the eyes, therefore the mind's eye. It's not always the case. I went on a bit there, didn't I? Fossilized tree sap. I also really love that your channel is holistic. It's not just demonology, but also things applicable across paganism. And you call yourself a witch, where so many now do not. Love that. I've actually stopped calling myself a witch, to be honest. I'm calling myself a wizard now, because I think witch just has taken on a whole life of its own. anybody who can make a cup of herbal tea, or just anybody who practices magic, who's a magician, are calling themselves a witch. And I think it's kind of sullied the word itself in many cases. But just using the word witch is such an umbrella term now, it's impossible to define. So I'll drop that. I'm calling myself a wizard, which is why I'm getting a wizard's hat. Okay, and then I'm going to really be Uncle Lee. Okay. Amenhotep, Lee, do you practice black mirror scrying or some kind of different style of scrying? I actually like to do, I'm not great at it. I do enjoy doing it though, but I like to do scrying with a bowl of water. And I say I'm not great at it. I do, I go through the whole process. The cloudy stuff starts to come out of the water and whatnot, and then I can't keep my eyes open. But at the same time, that is scrying. It's kind of like going into that process of going inward, getting the visions and the messages and stuff. I don't know, maybe I'll take my scrying into a bit of a slightly different direction, but I do enjoy doing it, and I usually use a bowl of water. I have a black bowl that I put water in. I need to experiment a bit more with it, with using different, like using chamomile tea and such things, and using that as a fluid condenser to help with scrying. And I need to experiment more with it. I just haven't been getting around to a lot of stuff lately. Fossilized tree sap. Could you go into that at some point? There's a gap between demonolatry and the rest of witchery. Something green just popped up. What happened? What's that? Oh, a new member. Hello, Jeffrey. Is it Jeffer524? And it's a super chat. Oh, thank you. Did I get a super chat? I think I did. I can't tell. Oh, I'm lost. Thank you anyway, whatever it was. I see it's a big green thing. Right. Jeff said, hello everyone, I just joined, new here. Thanks for joining, thanks for subscribing. So let me get back to fossilized tree sap. Sorry, that distracted me. Could you go into that at some point? There's a gap between demonolatry and the rest of witchery or paganism, or for many people, especially on YouTube. There can be, but it is not an inherent division. Yeah, it's actually an interesting question, topic. As you'll see tomorrow with the Path series, if you look at traditional witchcraft, there are a lot of people, factions, groups within traditional witchcraft that went down the more sort of biblical Tubal Cain road. Let's look at Robert Cochrane created the clan of Tubal Cain, but a lot of people started incorporating the Grigori, the Watchers. So there was mention of Azazel, Lucifer, and there's a strong emphasis on what I would say is Luciferianism. And this was long before Michael Ford, all that rubbish. But it's very, very strong emphasis on, as I said, what I would call Luciferianism. Bringing the gnosis, bringing the knowledge. So that would bridge the gap. The problem is that I think what a lot of people have done, have taken things like Luciferianism and demonolatry, and because it works with demons, it has therefore ventured a bit further into the left-hand path than I would have wanted it to. And what I mean by that is the edgelords, the complete diversion from any one path into this just exclusively left-hand path, and everybody else is wrong, which is Christian worldview. I don't want to get into that too much, but it really has taken on this whole life of its own, and that's where the dividers come in. Whereas if you come back to something like demonology and tubal cane, and the Watchers, and that area of what people have explored with traditional witchcraft, you kind of start to bring things back into a bit more balance. I think I found anyway. So yeah. Oh, let's see. Sorry, lost my place there. Poppamese, to those with aphantasia and magic, I recommend to go full in with feelings. Excellent idea. Yeah, I can definitely see that. Excuse the pun. Can see that. Yes. Sliced tree sap. Oh, hang on. Poppamese, do you have complete aphantasia? Please let me know. Yes or no. Fossilized tree sap. I think I'm trying to read too fast. Oh, I actually always use wizard myself, which didn't feel right because of gendered assumptions. Your point, though, about the new connotations of it makes sense, though. Okay. Yeah, I like wizard. It's kind of got it's taken its own life as well, into like Harry Potter and whatnot. Craig asked, how about sorcerer? Yeah, I think wizard encompasses a lot more than just sorcery. Sorcery doesn't really involve working with spirits, deities, in the same sense as we would be in terms of worship, in terms of petitioning the spirits and things like that. Sorcery is very much more working with your own energy, working with powers and the energies of all other things, but focusing more on I've lost the words. I think you know what I mean anyway. Wizard's Den, I agree. I call myself a wizard to break myself free from witch talk. Yeah, that's also a big problem, is witch talk. And let's have a look. Aphantasiac here, Saykat. Thanks for joining. Can't even visualize my own face. Namaste. I'd actually love to hear from you then. If you are doing some kind of journey work, how do you, because we use this term visualize, and as I keep saying, it has the word visual in it, so people immediately refer to the mind's eye, because visual refers to the eyes. But it's not just about the mind's eye, or not just about the eyes, or that type of visualization. It's about using everything, the whole system. I like the idea of using feelings that Poppamuse said. So how do you visualize? Is my idea of going into it the same way as you would when you are reading a fiction book any help at all? Yoli, it's a new member. Oh, thank you. Okay, all right. Yeah, I think I figured that out, but I wasn't quite sure. Caught me off guard. Slide tree set. Welcome, Craig. I call myself a witch doctor. It's the name my society uses for the initiated. Yeah, well, it would in your society. It makes perfect sense. Luna Fraticelli. Hello, welcome. Wizard Stan, you got a new supporter. Good stuff. Craig, Jeff, hi. Wizard Stan, sorry, just trying to go through the comments so I don't miss anything. Poppamese. Good. Good visuals. Okay. All right. So you're not aphantasia. Aphantasiac? I don't know. Is that a word? Wizard Dan, yes, Uncle Lee, a lot of edgelords or extremists, such as dangerous thing to get into with any walk of life at all. Yeah, I mean, you get there with anything. You get your extremists on both sides. So, can't think that we wouldn't get it in what we do. Thank you for talking about edgelordism. It put me off of exploring for a really long time. The channel and one other helped me to separate the aesthetic from the practice when I started. Good stuff. Luna, my internet signal is bad, but here I'm a new subscriber. Good channel. Thanks for subscribing. And thanks for the comment. Hope your internet signal picks up. Let's have a look. Dragon of the West. What is the difference between wizard, witch, sorcerer, cunning man, and their practices? Oh, God, that's a big question. That's like, what's the point of the universe? What can we do when we don't have that much emotions, or if they're dull or non-usable in magic? Okay, so the first question is a huge, very, very huge, big topic. And I think it's one that you shouldn't really worry about. Labels. I don't really like labels myself. We obviously have to use them in lots of communication, but I don't like using them. I'm just me. But what's the difference between wizard, witch, sorcerer, cunning man? Not a lot, really. When it comes to sorcerer, they have a specific way of practicing. It is very, very focused on your own energies, not petitioning outside sources and things like that. But you're going to find other people are going to define that differently as well. How do you define witch? Good question. Cunning man is very much what we call witch now. It's just that for people back in the day, using such terms as cunning man or green gown, I've forgotten all the terms now. There's lots and lots of terms that people used, and obviously depending on the area as well. Cunning man was used a lot in Cornish craft. It did venture beyond that, I think, but it was used a lot in Cornish craft. But it really was describing what we would call a witch nowadays. It's just that they didn't call themselves a witch because that had a negative connotation. The witch was the evil woman who was not really woman, man as well. Don't know. Never lived in those times, so I can't really tell you. But that's kind of like the idea there, anyway. Wizard. I think wizard just covers it all, so I don't have to get too specific. Okay, and what can we do when we don't have that much emotions, or if they're dull or non-usable in magic? Okay, so emotions are very important when you're trying to do spell work. And I know what you mean. Sometimes you do something and your heart's just not in it. What you can do is then start to petition energies beyond yourself, outside yourself. So petition deities, the energy of the deities, or pull in elemental energies or planetary energies. And what you'll find is that with certain energies, it will kind of give you a bump. So, especially if you think about it, if you're kind of doing the spell work, you're not really feeling it, and you call in Mars energy, and you're going to start feeling that energy, and it's going to start welling up those emotions, and the energy is going to start moving like crazy, and you can use that. It's probably the easiest way to go about that. But I definitely know what you mean. Sometimes I get into a working and just I know it's got to be done, but I'm just not feeling it. I'm not really bothered this way or that, whether it works or not, which is kind of not really how you should be doing magic, but we get into situations. Let's be realistic. Revkai, Pellers, Vitki, Volor, and much more. Oh, there's so many terms, there really are. I was trying to think specifically more of kind of like the cunning folk and the green gowns. I don't remember the terms now. I used to roll off the tip of my tongue. They've all gone. Wizard's Den. What are your opinions when it comes to orders? I assume you mean orders as in magical orders like Golden Dawn, um, Aurum Solace. I was trying to think of that word now. I think they're great. They are very different to, I was talking earlier about Crooked Path, very different to that. That is very much the straight and narrow track. So you have a specific way of doing things, and you go from step 1 to step 2 to step 3, and you progress through the degrees. There's just a very specific way of doing it, and you are encouraged not to diverge from that, because it's a formula that works, and it's a formula that they found works not just for the past 10 years, but for the past 100, 200, 300 years. When you take the Golden Dawn, a lot of it's based on Freemasonry, which is very, very old. Oh, my comments just suddenly jumped. So I think they're great. Not everybody will be able to fit into that kind of ideology, because there is very much that kind of, it's very much a dogmatic approach. But some people like the structure. They like being told how to progress. I kind of like it myself, because I'm a very kind of logical minded person. Being an architect and whatnot in my past. So I have a very logical, ordered kind of mind, but I find the challenge of trying to break out of that very interesting. So I don't actually like being in groups and being told what to do. So I wouldn't fit into orders myself. But a lot of people, the structure is great for them. So I would definitely encourage those people to go for it. Fossilized tree sap, trying to think of questions rather than comments. Comments are fine, don't worry about that. This may be a topic for a video rather than discuss here, but perhaps the difference between channeling and invocation. Yeah, I'm gonna actually note that down. Sorry, let me grab a pen, because we can also talk about mediation. Channeling is very mediumship, but there's also mediation, which is kind of similar but different approach. So I've actually got that 20th open this month, so I can put that in there. And invocation and mediation and all such other terms. Okay, cool. So I've got the topic for the 20th. Thank you. Saykat, I find it really difficult to visualize. My guru advises me to visualize, but it doesn't work for me. Feelings help, but mantras come handy or become really helpful to connect. Okay. I'm really interested to know what experience you have when you read a fiction book. Because when I read a fiction book, it is definitely visualization. I immerse myself in the visuals of it, and I should imagine for somebody with aphantasia that's going to be very different. But I'm battling to try and understand what it would be like, and I really want to try and understand. So I'd love to have a discussion with somebody about that. If you're on any of the Discord servers, there's the Red Coven Discord server, and there's also the Wildwood Temple. Where myself and Kai do the Wildwood, into the Wildwood. Join either one of those, and I'd love to have a chat, or just don't even need to go on the channels. Just find me on Discord itself, or email me. Anyway, get hold of me. Love to chat. That's what I was trying to say. Fossilized tree sap at Rev Kai. You're now Red Kai. I love your comments. I always have something to Google whenever I hear you speak. I do too. I totally agree. That's why I love doing Into the Wilder, because I always learn something. The problem is I'm too rebellious to work in groups. The spirits are enough for me. Same. Was it Dan? Also Uncle Lee. I know me personally, hearing from spirits, I'm someone important in a past life or whatever to boost my ego. I ignore it. But how do you interpret it when the spirit tells you these things? You mean things that kind of make you feel important? Don't have much of an ego. I kind of think with practice, with time, I guess no. I guess not everybody, it happens with everybody. I've just kind of gotten to the point where I don't give a shit. The specific spiritual practices that take you to that point, but I just found it came naturally that, you can insult me or you can give me a compliment. I'm going to react the same. It's going to be okay, thanks. So if a spirit tells me that I was somebody important in a past life, that's nice. That was a past life. It does affect me, who I am now, obviously, but the most important thing is who I am now. So I don't really give a darn. Oh, look at that. Comments have come to an end. And we're almost an hour in. So yeah. I'm going to try and stick to an hour with these, by the way. Otherwise, we're just going to carry on and on and on. You have to get up at some time to have a pee because, I'm drinking my hot chocolate. Right, so it looks like comments are finished. Just check this, make sure I'm not missing something. Oh, here we go. Oh, fossilized tree sap into the wildwood. I love that you and Kai feel comfortable disagreeing or clarifying if you don't have the exact same perspective. Important and hard to find, so done respectfully and in conversation. Well, I mean, Kai and I have known each other for long enough. I think I respect Kai immensely. And as we keep saying, we're not going to have the same opinion on everything. Otherwise, we'd be the same person, which would be kind of boring, actually. Yolandi, nothing wrong with going on. You can take a bathroom break. I do want to try and keep these to an hour. Otherwise, I'll talk about stuff here when I could have stuff for my Monday musings. Sure, it will be an honor to connect. Cool, yeah. Give me a shout somehow. Email, Discord, wherever it is. I'd love to find out. 100% agree with you, brother. What was that? Oh, was that for me? Okay, there we go. All right, so I'm going to bring today to an end. RF Kai, I respect you too. Two witches shouldn't have the same opinions. I don't think it's possible. Like we said, ask 3 witches to define traditional witchcraft, and you'll get 5 different answers. So, Okay, 2 weeks' time, 6 p.m. GMT is going to be the Cauldron, the healing half hour. Join me for that. Listen to me making funny noises. I enjoy making funny noises, and everybody enjoys listening to me make funny noises, so that's why we do it. And I'll see you then. Have a good one. Cheers for now. Thanks for joining, everybody, and thanks for the comments. That kept me going for an hour. That was fantastic. Have a good one. Bye-bye.